Hello, guys. Can you hear me?
Yes, doctor.
Yes, doctor.
Okay, thank you. Okay, guys. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. Very good morning, very good afternoon, all students here. This is Dr. Hussein. Today we have a new topic which is about the strings as a classes. We know the strings, but now we will talk about the string in the case of classes. But before that, I would like to highlight some points from previous lecture. In the previous lecture, we have tried last time to execute the overloaded stream in the case of the input and output, these two functions. If you remember it, there was error. So this is the code now without errors. I will execute first and I will highlight the error. All right. So what we have here in the main, we have two objects. The first object, which is empty, will be 0, 0 because the constructor here will initialize with zeros. The second one will be 1, 5. All right. So now the first operators that will be overloaded, which is the prefix. Prefix it comes before, so that's why we have two operands. This is the caller, which is equivalent to this, and this is the past object. So we have this is the operand in between, and you have two parameters. You can call it parameters or two objects around the operator. This is the caller, which is equivalent to this. When you print this, if you go to this as a function now, equal plus plus, so it's equal, equal plus plus is not here. All right, so let me check to see if it's implemented or not. Okay. Sorry, we have plus plus. This is the overloaded operator. Sorry, we have plus plus with object. So this is the prefix. This one is the prefix operator. So now if you print here this, I say this dot inches. All right. So now it takes void. Nothing will be passed. I need to increment the which one now? I need to increment the caller. It's this one will be, because in the case of prefix and suffix, this will be the caller, the object behind the operator, not this one, because you have equal. Equal is different. So this is the caller now without passing any parameters in both cases. So now if you print this, this will be the caller. Who is the caller? Is the second variable. If I print out here, C out, the caller is, I will print the caller values. So I'll print the inches inside in line. Sorry, this is in line. So now to see which is the caller now, in that case, plus plus. So the caller will be the second, because the second now, how many inches in the second? You have 5 inches, right? We have 5. 5 is inches is second parameter. All right. So now what I'm expecting to see here, I'm expecting to see 5 because it's the caller. Okay, so I'll execute here. Sorry, what's wrong here? This is inches. in line. So what's the error? We execute. Mhm. So maybe the color is this is inches without this. Oh, sorry, this is a pointer. So you have to use this symbol. Okay, so we are expecting to see 5 because the color is the second. So the color is the second here, right? So you have to be aware about which operator is, which object is called. But in the case of, if you have two objects, in the case of which one? In the case of greater than, we are receiving object now. We have two objects here. We have two objects to see this is belong to what. So if I take this out to another operator, this one is greater than, less than. So now I will print out, in the case of greater than, the color values. I'll see the color values. Now I'm calling this operator from here. So you see it's in between. So this is the color, is the second, and this is the past object passed by value. So if you need to check the right object, the object on the right side. Okay, so the right object, the values of right object. Okay, so right dot. Okay. Now, if you want to see what's the difference between this and without this, so this will be the values of the left. So I'm expecting here the values of left object. So without this. Okay. So I will execute now. Okay, so you can see now here the color with 7. We are incrementing because without increment, I will stop the increment here. Without increment, sorry. Okay, so without this. Once it's called, I will see who is the caller from here, the caller values. So I'm expecting what? I'm expecting for the second, which is 5. Okay, so I need to stop this one first. Then I'll execute. So you see 5 first. So this is the caller. With this, I'm using this pointer. So see here what I'm using. This pointer. So this, it's the left side object. This is the left side object. And 0, this is the right side object. Okay, clear this how when you call the overloaded operator, you see where is the left object, where is the right object. This is belong to which one? So it's belong to the caller. Okay, clear at this point? Any question before I move to my point? My main point is the error generated by the input stream and output stream. So now I'll return back to the input stream and the output stream. So I need to stop this one. Okay, so I'm looking now for the input stream and the output stream. I'll execute first, then I'll explain. So now Cn, the first object, how many feet? 12. How many inches? 10. So this is the first object Cn. Now I will call Cout for the same object, 12, 10. Right? So I'm reading, writing as it is. I'm reading the content of the first, then I'm writing out, in, out. But now without overloading. If you don't have overloading, without overloading, what you will see here, without overloading in the case of the stream here, I'll execute now, you will see error. Because, why this error? Any idea why this error without overloading? Because first is what? Anyone who want to try?
Type mean, no?
Why this error now? When I try to read Cn first, I cannot execute here. So see, once I try to compile, there is a compiler error here at this line. Because no match for operator types stream. So why is the error here? I already disabled this one. Because in the case of the objects, you cannot read like this. You can read integer, you can read float, you can read string, but object as a class, you cannot use the input stream. That's why we need overloading. To solve this problem, you have to overload this operator. So what you have to do, this is my operator. So I have to define a function in the class. So this is my function, input stream. I'm defining this function. This is output stream. This is input stream here. All right. So I have to use the operator keyword plus this one. It's just a function. So this function will take what? Because in the case of input stream, output stream, you have to pass two parameters. The first one is the stream, which is the Cn. Cn is automatically will be here. The second one is the object on the right side. Right? You are Cn. So you see it's in the right side. Cn first, on the right side of the operator. And the left side is the stream, so it will be passed automatically. But if this object is not object now, it will be on the left side. It's this. But now, because it's stream, it will be passed as a parameter. So that's why in the case of input stream, you will see we have another one. Comes from where? Comes from Cn. All right. So now you are passing your object because you need to implement this function in order to be able to read the input. In the case of object, this object, we have two parameters. So which one I have to read first based on your implementation. So if you come here to the implementation of Cn, so you see here for the input stream, I have to activate the input stream here. So now I'm receiving the object. I'm receiving the stream. What I have to do, I have to read them one by one. So this is Cn. This is equivalent to Cn. Cn what? Cn, the feet. It's object. Object comes from where? From the right side. So I will read one by one. Because it's object, you have many attributes. So based on your implementation, you have to make Cout for the user. Please give me the first attribute, then you have to give me the second attribute. That's why we need operator overloading in the case of classes, because maybe you have another attribute here. It is any attribute A. So you have to be aware about this. Now, based on your implementation, so I need to read the feet first, then the inches, and parameter A, blah, and so on. You get the idea why I need operator overloading in the case of objects and classes. So now you have the stream, you have the pointer to the stream. This is the pointer. You can read it's equivalent to Cn. It's Cn. But you are taking from the main. You cannot see here Cn because it will be passed from the main stream. It's one Cn. All right. So now you can read object. You can write object also. You can make cout for object. So you see the implementation here. For cout it's the same. Who is in the left? Who is in the right? On the left side we have the stream. So it will be passed to as a function. This is my function. I will pass the pointer of cout plus the object on the right side. So now I receive the stream from here and the object from here. We always use constant for operators overloading. You have to be aware about the syntax. It should be the same class, of course. So we are receiving the pointer now. I can, in the case of Cn, also, in the case of the Cn, if you use the constant here, you cannot modify this object. So you see the syntax here. In the case of Cn, there is no constant here because I want to modify this object. All right. So now I can write out just I know the first parameter is the feet, the second parameter is inches. Okay, clear this point why we need overloading in the case of the input stream, output stream, because you cannot read object directly, you cannot write out object directly. You need a function. So the function is the overloaded one. Clear this point? Any question? Okay, so now what's the error last time? The error last time I have here without friend. Okay, this is a member function. Without friend, it will be member function. So you have to use the class scope here in order to implement. So this will be here. The class scope, it will be here, right? So now is a member function like this one. This one is a member function greater than plus plus. All are member functions. You see here, all overloaded operators are member functions. But for the output stream, input stream, you see now if I just try to execute as a friend function, so you see this is the error. For the input stream, output stream, it should be function from outside the class. So that's why I'm including some extra points here, additional notes. You will see I already upload in the e-learning. It's found in the book, from the book. You see some compilers require you to prototype for the input stream and the output stream functions outside the class. So see, this is my class. Outside the class, you have to define in the prototype here. It will be, because here I'm using H as a prototype, but in my implementation, I have to use friend in front. Okay, clear? It should be function outside of the class because of the compiler error. So that's why we have this error last time. You have to return back to string. Also, this point is already mentioned in the, so The last two must be friend functions because of compiler restrictions. Clear this point, so you have to return back as a friend function. Okay, sorry, this one is stream. Clear this point why input stream and output stream must be friend functions. Otherwise, you will get error. It's different from others, like member functions. This is outside of the class because of compiler restrictions. Okay, this point is clear for you. In order to return back to my slides, we have another point I'd like to highlight for what for writing out when this is as a pointer. For this case, this pointer will hold the name to return back to return from a function as a pointer for the getter. We have the getter. Yeah, this is the getter. So you have to return as a pointer. Okay, so now you can see I can print out the full name. Sorry, it should be the opposite, like this. You are returned back as a pointer here. So you see, you are printing the full name. Basically, this is the first person, this is the second one. You are replacing the second and the third, but my point here is you have to return a pointer. If you return like this, you will see the first character only. This is the previous problem we have encountered. You see the first character because name is a pointer, so you have to return the address, and you have to mention here you are return back pointer. Clear this point? You reading you are returning back pointer as string. Okay. I think that's all. What else we have here? We have what we have. We have another point is what you see simplify function. There is a function we call it simplify. It's private function used to do the conversion and to check to convert from feet to inches. So you see in the previous slides here, simplify. It's not implemented, but it exists in the box. So I'm adding here for your information. You can use it without simplify. Also, you can execute, but this is the why we are using simplify private function here. Okay. The last point is about overloading in the case of array. What do you mean by checking the boundaries of arrays? Checking the subscripts of array. Now, in the case of objects, I'll show you the additional notes here. In the case of overloading, this is the index when you want to reach a pointer. For example, here you define a string. This is string is name. So now, in order to access the first character, which a of 0, right? The second one will be name of 1, and so on. So now this is string. String is okay, you can make it. But if this is class, another class, like in my person class, I need to access the first character. You see here, integer array. I have inside this class, I have a pointer that will hold the name or its array. At the end of the day, I have pointer, maybe will point it to characters or to whatever. We are defining here integers. So now in order to access this inside the class, to say give me the first index 0 of 1 of 2, without overloading you cannot do this. So that's why we need to overload the indexing operator. So you see the definition, you have to use the keyword operator followed by the operator that you want to overload. So now using this overloading operator, now I'm receiving what? I'm receiving a pointer, but of type what? Of type integer, not class, because this is of type integer. I need to access this one. Okay, so that's why I'm receiving here this. I need to access this pointer from outside, from the main. Okay, so I need to overload this operator. After that, you receive the address of this pointer, so you can just print out the index. Okay, so now you are receiving the index of this pointer because it's integer, so I'm receiving the index of this one. So now from this private function, not private function, it is a public function overloaded in the public section here. You can access, you can make indexing. Actually, we need to make indexing for A, 2, 3, blah, blah. So now from outside, you can make for the class integer array, you can make indexing for the first, the second, with the class here, with the object here. Clear at this point why we need overloading in the case of array symbol. It's mentioned here. Okay, so now you can check the boundaries, you can display the input and so on. But the main point, you have object now, need to access as object here. Clear at this point? Any question? If you need more details, you can refer back to the book. You can see the complete code of this example. Okay, guys, I have to go back for my today class, which is about the string. So now the string, you are familiar with the string, but now as a class, we'll see what's the differences in the case of classes. So the first thing you have to include the string. Last time you are including C string, right? Which is different. This is standard, but this is class. With this one, you can add more operations on the string. So it's already overloaded. It's already overloaded. So you can make equal, greater than, less than. You can read the string. You can see out the string. All these overloaded operators already implemented in the case of the class. You can make indexing for the characters inside the string. Okay, so now you have to include the library or the class of the string. Then you can manipulate this. You can do equal, you can print out. At the end of the day, it's class of type string. Okay, you can make cout and so on. So can define string variable in a program. So you have to use the name of the class, which is string, then the first object, the second object, and so on. You can make assignment. You can give a value, initial values for the string equal for the first and the second. You can print out. So you see all these operators already overloaded because it's string. If you have different class, you cannot make this. Clear this point? It's already overloaded. All right, so we have different declaration here for the string. Empty with initial values here. Repeating, I'm repeating 60 times for this star. I'm taking the values of another string, which is very similar to what here. When you say like this, it is the copy constructor. If you have a class with copy constructor, so now the copy constructor will be called. You give error because it is not a character, so you have to use double quotation. You see the error here because of single quotation. This one must hold the string, not character. This one you cannot give integer for the string. If the string is not initialized, it's represented as empty string like this. All right. So it's the same. Now we have different format: empty string with initial values, string that will take the values from another string, string that will take the first 5 characters. So now you see this is my string. My name is here. So here I'm creating another one, a name. I'm reading from this one the first 5 characters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You see here a key, AR. Define string, initialize it with string from my name starting at, sorry, it's starting at, not the first. It will be starting at the 5th one. So you have to count from the beginning. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you'll start from here after the 5th one. Okay, so what else we have with strings? Now from 0, define string and initialize with 3 characters. So I'm using 3 characters. From my name, this is the input. Starting at, so it's very similar to this one, but I'm adding another condition. Starting at 0, so from 0 to 3, the first 3 characters, ABU, ABU. Okay, now I'm repeating character 5 times. So it will be repeated 5 times. Okay, so you can use CN with the string because it's already overloaded. You can write out the string, you can read the string. It's the same. So when the input stream CN is used, white space. So we have the separator. Okay, now I'll try to execute, highlight this idea here with the input string. When the input stream CN is used, white space characters are used as a terminator. We have 2 cases: as a terminator as the end of the reading, or separator when you read the text. When you read line by line, you have to use the white space as the indicator of the the reading when you read line by line or when you read from the input. I will try to show you here in the coding. We have some codes here about the string. So this is what we already mentioned here. You have a string. You are writing string. It's empty right now. You have another string, but initialized. Now you will see the output here. We have another string that will read from the first one. So it will read as it is. In the fourth case here, we are starting reading from the fifth character from 0 to 3. I'm repeating here. So I'll execute this example here. So see, the first one is empty. This is empty. This one is full name. This is just copy. This is from the fifth character. This is the first three. This is repeating. Okay, this is the first example. The second one now, we have another string here. For reading, I need the reading cn. Where is cn? Cn, I don't have cn here. Okay, I will take the cn. Okay, for the cn, the name. Okay, now I will make C out here. Cn, C out first, then C out your name, input your name. Sorry, it's input your name here. Then I have to stop this one here. I have to use the cn. So it is your name or name here. Okay. So after reading, I need to see out your name. Okay, so I'll execute now. Okay, input your name. This is my name with space. You see the output now, only the first one. I'll make int line here. So I'll re-execute. So you see, this is my name with spacing here. So it will take uh, the first one with spacing, meaning that it's the end. In the case of reading from input stream here, the space, the white space will be considered as a terminator reading the values. Okay, clear at this point. Now, how to solve this point? Also, if you have tab or new line and so on, once you press new line, it's the end, or you have tab in between. All these are terminator in the case of reading. But now, how to solve this problem? You can use getLine. You read the whole line. So you will see now with getLine, I will use getLine here. I'm reading. This is the input stream and this is my name. So I will execute here. I have semicolon. Getline, yeah, you need to how to call this getline using the slide here. Getline to read the white space cn. Okay, I will re-execute. Okay, so now this is my full name. Now I can read with spaces, blah, blah. Okay, it's full line. Okay, two parameters. You see the implementation here of the get line is very similar to the overloaded operator. You are passing the stream plus the object. So you want to read in this object. Okay, so what we have here, we have in the case of the file, when you read from file, you can mention the ending. So I want to read until the tab. So if I add this one here, but now I'm reading from the input stream here, I will add another condition, which is the tab. Once you found the tab, it means the ending. So now you'll see, I'll re-execute now. I'm reading from the input. So this is my first name. I'm using the tab. So now you will take only the first token because you have mentioned that this is the ending of the reading. Okay, clear this point. I think you are already familiar with the strings. I just to recap. Okay, so what else we have with strings? You can add strings together. You can add them together here. String 1, string 2, you can concatenate together, combine them together. You have the assignment, which is already mentioned. Operators overloaded already given for you in the case of the strings. You can read from the input stream, you can output, you can. But this one, you are appending the on the left side with the right side here. So append the string on the right side to the end of the left side. Okay. Okay, it's concatenation of two strings. This is a reference is already overloaded. You can access elements inside the string. You can compare string. You can do all these operations. Okay, you see here, you can read the string. You can concatenate the string. You can append here. You are adding some information to this phrase. This is your phrase here. So you are adding. You can print out for the case of the string are behind many overloaded operators already implemented. Assign, copy, data, append. You see a list of functions here you can use with the string. So you can see here name.append string 2. I'll show you the first one. You can try the rest. So now what we have here, the append. So this is the name. I will try to call the function. Which function? You see list of functions, append, assign, list of functions, because now the name is class. So you can call all these functions. So get append, then you have to pass the values. So at the beginning, the name equal input your name, then I will append my name here. So this is my name. All right. So I'm initializing first, then I'm appending, I'm adding here. Then I will print out. So you see the results here. So you see input your name. This is the output comes from the appending. I'm concatenating together or use the append function. So I think you can try all these functions with the description is given here. You have a long list you can try later. You can access elements inside the array. So for instance now, after appending, you need to print the first character. So I'll make C out here only for the first one. So you are indexing here the first character. So I comes from input. You see, this is the input. I is the first character. All right, so you can try these operators already. The explanation is comes here. This is table here. You can insert. You can do many things with the string. The last thing here is the length. How to read the length? I think you're already familiar with the length. So you will call this function to read how many characters are there. Okay, I think appending. We have what we have insert here. So inserting string within string. So this is the first string, Skudai. This is the second string, UTM Johor. So now from string 4, I'm inserting two string 4. What? From position 4, string 3. So this is string 4 first because it's the caller here. So this is the value of string 4. I'm appending here, appending what? From the first one, UTM, Skudai here, insert into starting at position 4. So position 4 and string 4. This is position 4. This is 1, 2, 3, 4 here. I start from 0. 0, 4 will be here. So I'm inserting what? I'm replacing this. Not replacing, it's inserting here in between. You are inserting string 3. You are adding in between. So you see, this is string 3 in between at the location 4. Okay, clear this inserting? Any question right now? I guess you are familiar with the string, so we just recap what you already know. Okay, so we have subtraction, substring. So substring, this will take a substring from 2, the starting and the ending. So this string will be affected. So here we have an example here, the name, this is the string. Now I would like to take a substring from this one, from the second character. So 1, 2, meaning that this is 0. You have to be aware about the index of the string. This is location 1. This is location 2 here. So from location 2 up to 3, GA. Location 2, starting at position 2 and taking 3 characters, sorry. You are taking 3 characters. So this is the first one, the second one, and the third one. GEC. Copy, it is the same copy substring from the name, starting at position 3. Copy how many characters? You are copying 15 characters. So you will copy to the end. Okay, clear this function. I think this is the end. You can try and see. You have all this is required from you. You will see in the test many questions like this. They will ask you what's the output in that case, for instance. So you have to be aware about this. Okay, any question? This is the end. I think we will not have class next week. Will be just revision. If you have any question, our test will be on Friday. Okay. Any question before I end my session?
Next Friday, right?
Yeah, next Friday, not this one. After 10 days or okay, 30. Any
Yeah,
question?
we have a we have a test right next week.
We have the test on Friday 13.
Okay,
This is the date.
or it's not
Yeah, we have
27.
test. No, it's 30 for all sections together.
Okay, okay.
Okay. Any question before I end and go to the attendance? Yeah.
Doctor,
Mhm.
what is the chapter for the test one?
From the beginning up to the strength. All
Isn't it 1 to 6?
chapters. I don't remember. You just go to the slides. The
In
strength.
the e-learning, it's at topic 1 to 6.
Uh, Topic one, which in the e-learning they have mentioned that. I mean, up to the strength from the classes up to the strength. I
Okay, okay.
just said okay. All materials covered. Any question before I share with you the attendance?
Friday 5 p.m.
No, morning. It's 10.
Oh, 10. Okay.